At this hour, I'm Christina Aguayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. Benjamin Netanyahu has delayed the vote to approve a ceasefire deal that was reached yesterday, saying Hamas is going back on parts of the agreement. According to Arab officials, the ceasefire between Israel and the terror group of Hamas was reached because of President Donald Trump and had nothing to do with Joe Biden. In fact, two Arab officials told the Times of Israel that Trump's top aide, Steve Witkoff, swayed Israel's prime minister more in one meeting than Biden did all year.
I would like first to thank our partners from Egypt, the USA, and in particular, the U.S. President-elect envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff.
The tense sit-down in Jerusalem led to a breakthrough, with both sides agreeing to a hostage deal 2 days later.
The first phase is 42 days. We'll see a ceasefire and a withdrawal of Israeli troops to the east.
According to Israeli media, during the first phase, 9 hostages would be released for 110 Palestinian prisoners, some of whom have life sentences related to terrorism. Joe Biden giving his farewell address to the nation on Wednesday night. In his short speech, he warned about an oligarchy taking control and said that social media companies using community notes instead of fact checkers is a, quote, threat to our children.
Disinformation, enabling the abuse of power. The free press is crumbling. Editors are disappearing. Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies told for power and for profit. We must hold the social platforms accountable to protect our children, our families, and our very democracy from the abuse of power.
Bondi was the target of attacks by California Senators Adam Schiff and Alex Padilla, both of whom focused their questions on President Donald Trump, January 6th, and the weaponization of the DOJ. During one fiery back and forth, Bondi hit Schiff with a harsh reminder of his own shortcomings in Congress. Listen.
If confirmed, I will look at the files
and
for the
will you be able to
pardons, as well
will
as
you
the
be able to
ongoing
review
investigation.
hundreds of cases on day one?
I will look at every file I am asked to look at.
Of course you won't. So will you advise the president?
Can I answer the question?
Well, my question
I would have plenty of staff. You said, of course you want.
You'll be able to review
Listen,
hundreds
I'm
of
not going to
cases on the first day?
mislead this body, nor you.
All right, let me ask another question. You don't want to answer that. Let me answer
You were
another question.
censured by Congress, Senator, for comments just like this that are so reckless.
Pam Bondi, the woman President Donald Trump tapped to be the Attorney General, flipped the script on Senator Adam Schiff after he tried to bait her with politically motivated questions about Liz Cheney. Watch.
I'm asking you, sitting here today, whether you are aware of a factual predicate to investigate Liz Cheney.
Senator, no one
Based
has
on
asked
what you
me
know.
to investigate Liz Cheney. That is a
The
hypothetical.
president has called for it publicly. You are aware of that, aren't you?
No one has asked me to investigate.
But the president
Liz.
has
We're
called-
also
the
worried about
president-
Liz Cheney,
the
Senator.
president has
You know what
called
we
for
should
this-
be worried about?
Ms. Bondi,
the
please
crime rate
answer
in
my
California
questions.
right now
You
is
are
through
aware,
the roof.
Ms. Bondi,
Your robberies are 87% higher than the national
My question
average.
is this.
That's what I
My
want to
question
be
is
focused
this.
on, Senator.
Do you have the
if
power
I'm
to say
confirmed as
no to the
Attorney
president?
General.
More than 50% of Americans say that Joe Biden will be remembered as below average or one of the worst presidents in U.S. history. According to the Marist poll, more than 33% of people gave him the designation as worst president in history, with another 19% saying he will be considered a below average president. The Marist poll is the second straight national survey to show history will not view Biden well. According to a USA Today Suffolk University poll, 44% of voters nationwide said history will classify Biden as a failed president. Social media giant Meta will reportedly lay off 3,600 employees this year, according to recent filings. The company is terminating staff based on their poor performance and says they will hire new workers to replace them. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg reportedly made the announcement in an internal note to employees, saying he wants to raise the bar on performance management and move out low performers faster. About 72,000 people work for Meta, which owns Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Threads. A man who killed an illegal migrant on a New York City subway after the group of migrants tried to rob him will not face any charges. The 69-year-old homeless man, who was sleeping at the time he was attacked, stabbed 2 of the migrants. ICE has confirmed that at least 3 of the suspects are illegal, including the migrant who was killed, 37-year-old Stalin Moya of Ecuador. Moya has been arrested multiple times over the last year for numerous different crimes, including felony assault, felony robbery, and criminal possession of a weapon. The incident happened just hours before an illegal migrant from Guatemala allegedly set a woman on fire on a subway in Brooklyn. Prosecutors decided not to prosecute the man after former Marine Daniel Penny was acquitted in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely on a New York City subway. The man who was charged with trying to sneak a machete and other knives into the U.S. Capitol on the same day President Donald Trump was there paying his respects to Jimmy Carter has been released from jail by a D.C. judge. 44-year-old Mel J. Horn is facing multiple charges of carrying a dangerous weapon after he tried to get into the Capitol Visitor Center with a machete, 2 folding knives, and a box cutter, according to court documents. An X account that appears to be Horn's shows that he made several anti-Trump posts in recent days, calling Trump and Musk derogatory names and saying they were enemies of the state. The House Oversight Committee devolved into chaos after Democrat Rep. Jasmine Crockett launched an attack on Republican Nancy Mace, prompting Mace to say, "If you want to take it outside, we can do that." The argument was sparked after Crockett said, "Child, listen," while defending transgenders and comparing their rights to civil rights.
You want women to be forced to undress in front of men in the locker room and in dressing rooms.
And child, listen, I want y'all
I
to
am
tell
no
me
child.
whether or
Do
not
not call me a child. I am no child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee has...
Mace later posting to social, "I won't be bullied by someone who wants to take away women's rights while lecturing about civil rights. I won't be bullied by someone who thinks being scared of rape is a fantasy. This isn't political. It's personal." The U.S. Social Security Administration has been able to stop and recover more than $31 million in improper Social Security payments that were made to dead people. The recovery comes after Congress gave the Department of the Treasury temporary access to Social Security's full death master file for 3 years. The Treasury projects that it will recover more than $215 million during its 3-year access period. That's what you need to know at this hour. In Dallas, Christina, Aguayo, Salem News Channel.